inspired by the 20th National HRD Network Conference held at Bangalore in the last couple of weeks, culminating in the last 2 days, 8th and 9th of December 2016. I like to share some of my thoughts and would like to propose that entrepreneurial spirit is the new agenda for human resource development. It is a new agenda for all those involved in developing their own resources, developing themselves, developing their surroundings, including the corporations as well as the country. So particularly this is the new agenda for HR professionals. Now what do I mean by this? I've been teaching entrepreneurship at the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad for long years. I think I initiated actually a course on entrepreneurship. Both Uday Parikh and I wrote the first book in this part of the world on developing entrepreneurship in 1975. It's a handbook for developing entrepreneurs published by Learning Systems of New Delhi in those days. Later we worked with the East West Center Hawaii and worked with the Institute of Technology Mara, UNDP Malaysia and so on, and did a lot of work in this, and we defined entrepreneurship as a way of thinking. It's not merely making money. In fact, our definition of entrepreneurship is those people who can think differently, who can innovate, who are achievement driven, who learn from their feedback, who learn from a variety of sources and ultimately make things happen. We also defined entrepreneurs to be not merely achievement driven but also be value driven in terms of managing people and things like that. The entrepreneurial spirit is a new competence that is required by all HR professionals. For HR professionals, we defined human resource development as competence building, commitment building and culture building. Now the new competence, I want to add the new competence that is required to be built at all levels by HR professionals, and that is the entrepreneurial spirit. So by entrepreneurial spirit, once again, I mean learn to continuously learn to be innovative, learn to think ahead of others, learn to be empathetic, learn to be achievement driven, learn to manage and solve your own kind of problems, learn to convert problems into opportunities and create new entities, new services, new products and new way of looking at things. If this is the competence, what we call as entrepreneurial competence, if HR people working in corporate sector can develop this competence at all levels of employees, you might ask the question, how can I develop an ordinary employee who drives a car or who operates a lift or who sweeps the office, etc. to be an entrepreneur? I think about it, you have answers. Imagine that all of our employees becomes entrepreneurial thinkers. The most important quality they acquire is the quality of learning from their own experiences, learning from each other and becoming leaders in their own field. And what a wonderful society we will have if all people learn to be innovative, learn to learn and learn to solve their own kind of problems so that they don't have to depend on anyone else. So entrepreneurial spirit is not only meant for top level managers to get into new markets, to create new products and to explore where they can sell their products in different kind of countries, discover new processes and things of that kind. That certainly is the job of top management, and HR people should certainly help the top management to acquire the entrepreneurial capabilities if they by any chance don't have already some of these. But by getting all employees at all levels to think entrepreneurially and to behave entrepreneurially, HR people are setting a new agenda for Indian corporations. The same way, I think they will also be setting a new agenda for those who are teaching in schools. Now here you may ask the question, who is the HR facilitator in a school or a college environment? I would say everyone is his or her own HR facilitator. In addition to everyone managing their own kind of a learning, It is those people who are in the CEO positions or director positions, vice chancellor positions, and heads of department positions and things like. They have an extra responsibility to create a culture. While individuals should constantly build their competencies and also ensure their own kind of commitment, the leadership of these educational institutions or medical colleges or engineering colleges or health centers, or for that matter the various government agencies or not for profit organizations, everyone in the society, their job is to ensure that continuous competence building and entrepreneurial spirit are inculcated in the organizations they lead. In this context, everyone becomes a HR facilitator and not merely those who are designated as HR facilitators. This is what I have learnt very interestingly from the Bangalore National HRD Network Conference, which invited a variety of people to participate. In fact, the conference, I think, was spread over almost about 2 weeks, and a whole lot of programs were conducted. For example, a series of events were organized in some of the local colleges to be able to look at the kind of a learning that is taking place among students and facilitate learning of college students. In the showcase that National HRD Network had organized, people with working on CSR with their research kind of proposals were invited to participate. Corporations were invited to participate and share their CSR kind of experiences. Management educationists were asked to participate and share their innovative management practices and so on. Besides the traditional showcasing of best in the class practices of HR, the National HRD Network also provided an opportunity for startups to showcase their own kind of experiences and things like this. And very interestingly, they held a whole day conference on edupreneurs, which was attended by over about 120 delegates who were academic administrators from various academic institutions and so on. Now, all this indicates one thing very interestingly, and this indicates that HR is not the property of HR people alone. This indicates that HR is important for every citizen in the country and in the world. And HR indicates continuous competence building, continuous learning, continuous innovations, continuous kind of a leadership, and helping each other. I think this is the symbol of the entrepreneurial spirit I like to borrow from the HRD Network Conference held at Bangalore. If we borrow this symbol and if we say HR's mission therefore is to create entrepreneurial spirit in all settings, corporate sector, at all levels, from workmen to the top management, including daily wage laborers or contract employees. In schools and colleges, starting from vice chancellors at the top to an ordinary helper or a technician working in a science laboratory or a person who maintains the playground of students and so on. All these people can develop entrepreneurial spirit. So thus the government, which is supposed to be facilitating self-employment, skill development, Make in India, Digital India and a whole lot of other things, will have an important agenda of creating entrepreneurial spirit in those who promote these concepts, and that is the government officers or government employees. They need to think entrepreneurially. They need to shed their bureaucratic tendencies. They need to imbibe the so-called entrepreneurial spirit and things of that kind. So viewed in this way, entrepreneurial spirit becomes a very important HR agenda for the entire country. The HRD ministry should be working on it. All the ministries should be working on it. Our parliamentarians should be working on it. Our ministers should be working on it. Everyone should start thinking of inculcating in the country entrepreneurial spirit so that our human development index goes up and we get a new respect in the world. I've been watching the movement in our Human Development Index for the last almost 24 years, beginning 1992, when I was invited by the Commonwealth Secretariat at London to do a project on human resource development and prepare a document for the Commonwealth heads of government. At that time, I was ashamed to really see the Human Development Index or Human Development HDI rankings of India to be as low as something like 90 in a group of 110 countries. And 24 years later, it is very unfortunate we are still around 134 among 184 countries. That means with all the developments that have taken place in our country, people still don't know how to live longer as compared to another 133 countries in the world. They don't know how to, they don't have the right kind of a skill base, and they don't have the good quality of life. Now, entrepreneurial spirit therefore becomes a great agenda for companies and society, for the government, for everyone to create. And this, in my view, is the next HRD agenda for all people at all levels. And I hope we will understand the significance of what I am saying and strive towards creating also a new currency. Instead of the usual currency we are using, we have to come up with a new currency of human development index of a country, or happiness at workplace, happiness in the family, happiness in the society, happiness everywhere. And that is what I suppose is meant by the world is being considered as one place, Vasudevika Kutumbam. All the best for all my HR people. Get the best out of your work. I think we are lucky to be in HR profession because we are facilitating peace on earth, which most spiritual gurus teach and which we ourselves want to have. All the best. You are the new spiritual gurus to create an entrepreneurial spirit in whatever place that you are working, by what you do, what you think, and what you inspire. All the best from us.